Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS reporters Chris Flaherty, Robert Paris, and Hannah Stephen. Juliana McGrain with sports, Gretchen Carey with the community calendar, and Peter Brown with the weather. Thank you for joining us. Burlington residents headed to the polls for this year's annual town election. BNEWS reporter Chris Flaherty has the breakdown in the final installment of our 2026 Election Center.
After some delays and a long night of ballot counting, the results are in for Burlington's annual town election. The only contested townwide race this year was for school committee with 4 candidates for 2 seats. Topping the ticket was incumbent Catherine Bond. Because of the delay in results, she appeared on BCAP before the numbers were in, so she thanked her campaign team.
I'd like to thank all of my committee people. We call it oatmeal Saturday mornings, which, we've all of our planning and prepping for, all the different forums and various things. So they certainly try to help prep you for everything. I want to thank my campaign manager, Megan Wojcik, and my treasurer, Mike Hardy, and of course my husband for his patience throughout all of this, because I've been, very busy with the campaign for several weeks now. And of course, I want to thank all the voters who came out and voted, whomever you supported. I mean, we need people to be involved and vote in our community.
Incumbent Jeremy Brooks also retained his seat and will be returning for a second term. He spoke about what he hopes to accomplish this term.
So continuing the computer science pathways improvements, lots of work to do on the budgets, and then getting back into the high school, and what we're going to do there is really, I think, things that I heard during the campaign and things that really need to get addressed. So I think we're going to start on Tuesday, and I got a budget meeting also Thursday, so I think we're going to roll right back into this. So no rest for the weary, but happy to be here, and again, ready to serve and keep going.
Newcomer Hillary Kleck had a strong showing for her first campaign and said she would consider running again.
Education is definitely my passion, I guess, what I'm most interested in. I definitely would consider running again, and like I said, I've learned so much this time around that I feel like I would, have a little bit of a leg up for the next time for sure.
Newcomer Aaron Reeves also came up short. However, he enjoyed running his campaign and getting involved in the community.
I had an incredible day with my family here at the polls and met so many of our town members. It was an incredible experience, and I'm incredibly privileged to be able to throw myself into the ring like this. Love what we get to participate in our country, in our town, and this is an experience I'll never forget. Yes, I'm disappointed, but I trust the voters.
There were also several contested races for town meeting seats across the majority of precincts. You can find the results of those as well as the complete election results on the Town of Burlington website. Town Clerk Jennifer Priest issued a statement addressing the delayed results. Thank you to everyone who came out to vote and to all our poll workers for their long day of service. I recognize that the results took longer than usual last night and appreciate everyone's patience. Several factors contributed, including the care taken to ensure every ballot was processed accurately. Many poll workers stepped into new roles and did an incredible job under a long day. We are very grateful for their dedication. An early preliminary report did include a typographical error, which was quickly identified and corrected. The updated preliminary results have been posted, and results will be formally certified later this week. Most importantly, voters can be confident that all ballots were carefully reviewed and the results are accurate. We will continue to review our process and make adjustments where needed to improve efficiency for future elections. Thank you again for participating in the election and supporting the process. BCAT's complete election night coverage is in our election center on our website. And until next time, this is Chris Flaherty from the BNEWS Election Center.
Following the annual town election, Burlington's governing boards have begun reorganizing their leadership. On the select board, Jim Tiggis was named chair and Sarah Cawley vice chair, both by unanimous votes. Tiggis also emphasized how proud he is of how well the board works together despite differing opinions.
Other towns, their boards make headlines, and not always for good reasons. But I can tell you right now, I like being chair, I like being on the board, but I love the members of this board. Because even though we may have diametrically opposed views or opinions on something, every one of these members treat the other members with respect and professionalism, whether they agree or disagree. So you're looking at a board that works together that gets things done, and I'm proud to be the chair for the next year.
Catherine Bond was unanimously selected as chair. Megan Nowicek was voted vice chair in a 3-2 decision. Jeremy Brooks raised concerns about a recent shift away from promoting members based on tenure and expressed interest in returning to that approach.
It's been precedent for the committee to move people forward as they are in the succession with which they joined the committee. As of late, we've moved away from that, so I would like to continue the tradition where we move folks forward as they sat on the committee.
I know there are two people that are both qualified and both want to be vice chair. There are really three things that we do that are important positions. We have a chair, a vice chair, and as a committee, we nominate and vote to appoint someone to be a full recreation commissioner. And we have, for the past 3 years, nominated and appointed Jeremy. The other thing that swayed me was that Jeremy is also the chairman of the field committee, which is a big item right now. That, and being a commissioner, I decided that I would support Megan.
The Massachusetts House has passed legislation aimed at limiting cell phone use in schools and restricting social media access for children. State Representative Ken Gordon spoke in support of the bill as the House took up the legislation.
This is a different world in so many ways. With regard to the issue of cell phones in schools, we have listened to superintendents, we've listened to school committee organizations, and they tell us of the proliferation of texting among students during the school day. They tell us about students checking in with social media while in class. They tell us about bullying. They tell us about bullying that occurs at lunchtime, at homeroom, and other times outside of class. They tell us about communications that occur between classes that are so distracting to students that when they get back to class, they're not prepared to learn. And so they asked us to act, and the vast majority of superintendents asked us to impose this ban bell to bell and not class to class.
The bill now heads to the Senate. If approved, it would ban student cell phone use during the school day and require parental consent for younger users on social media. The town of Burlington is preparing to break ground on the new Fox Hill Elementary School. A ceremony is scheduled for April 30 at the Fox Hill Road site, where the new building will be constructed. The event will include remarks from Superintendent of Schools Eric Conti and members of the School Building Committee. Due to the site preparation and construction activity, all nature trails leading to the Fox Hill site are currently closed and will remain closed at the trailhead through the duration of construction. Work is already underway, with crews beginning site demolition and grading, including changes to the existing playground area to allow for temporary parking. For construction updates on the project, visit the Fox Hill Elementary School Building Project website, and of course we'll be there for the groundbreaking and bring you a full report next week. What has become an annual event in Burlington, members of the interfaith clergy gather to bless the upcoming harvest season at the community garden. The crops grown there help to supply the Burlington Food Pantry. Our student intern reporter, Hannah Steffen, has more.
Hi, I'm Hannah Steffen, and we are here at the community garden. It's a beautiful day, a little windy, but that is not going to stop us from the activities that are going to take place here today. So yeah, let's have a look.
Every year, members of the clergy come by to give their blessings to the community garden.
He gave me a telephone call to say, hey, Father, how about if we give a blessing this year for the community garden? And I thought that was a great idea. And so we've been doing it ever since. And ever since then, every single year, the produce has gone up substantially every single year. And all the people from People Helping People have been benefited because of it.
It is so beautiful to see the growth of some beautiful trees here. And I know that all the fruits and the produce of this is going to go for those who really need it as well. For us, nature is so important. We feel that blessing this and making sure that God's blessing is on these fruits and vegetables so it grows rich and is given beautifully to those in need.
The garden's really important because it feeds our community. The produce that's grown here will feed people in need, which is a lot more people in our community nowadays. The need is greater and greater every year. Why is the blessing important? Because this brings the community together, and we try to fill this space with love and joy and hope, and that's the community part of a community garden.
Well, I think it's important for us as interfaith clergy to be united as one group who share the same values, and one of our values is giving thanks for God's good earth and all of nature, and just appreciating the blessings that we have.
For 6 years, Master Gardener Peter Coppola has organized this annual blessing, and throughout the years, it has grown.
So that goes back to the pandemic year, 2020, and we were really concerned about volunteers helping to grow the vegetables in the Victory Garden. And back then we couldn't have people meet. Everybody had to wear masks and be 6 feet apart, so we really had no idea if anybody was going to come out. And I was at Mass one time and at St. Malachy's at the time, and I asked Father Mahoney if he could just come and bless the garden for us.
The chair of endocrinology at Leahy is putting together a program with the help of Peter Coppola.
So we're excited that this Friday, Mr. Peter Coppola is going to be joining us over at Leahy, and it'll be our opportunity to learn more about the craft, as well as to make friendships and talk about how we're going to be promoting gardening as a way for people to exercise, to eat healthy, and to build friendships.
People Helping People is giving fresh produce from the garden each year as well.
We're very excited for today because it means the start of the growing season. So we're going to get tons of fresh veggies and some fruit, and it just means that it's the start of the season where we get to give our clients like a lot of fresh, healthy food. So that makes us very happy.
With summer coming around the corner, the garden has been preparing for the upcoming season.
Wow. What a great day we're having here. I mean, I cannot wait to see what's going to be growing here for, the next few months. It may take a little time, but what are you going to do? So, this has been great fun, but I'm Hannah Steffen for BNEWS Weekly. See you guys next time.
A new bakery is making a name for itself in the area, and the owners have certainly been busy bees. Chris Flaherty has the story.
Burlington has been buzzing over the home-baked breads and treats from Busy Bee Bakery. Ashley and Marissa Roth, the dynamic duo working behind the scenes, spoke on how a hobby of making sourdough turned into a full business right out of their home.
Just recently, in the last month, I went full-time with the bakery. Okay. I was working a 9-to-5 job, so it was a little different then. Yeah. She and Paul, my father-in-law, would do a lot of the prep work. But now, Mondays we'll do our grocery shopping, and then Tuesday we'll do all the prep to cut and everything like that, start feeding the starter.
I have my full-time job still, so I go to work on Tuesday. I do a 12 to 10 shift, and then on Wednesday I work a 24, and then we just go right into baking Thursday morning at 6 when I get home.
Support for Busy Bee has surged beyond the Burlington community, and the shop selling out has become a weekly occurrence.
It's been wild. So we have a lot of core customers from the beginning, since December, who have really stuck with us, repeat customers. I'm talking 9, 10, 8 times. We just had a viral video go out with an influencer who's actually from Burlington, and things have been nuts. We sell out of everything. The Pop-Tarts, I love eating them. They're a lot of work, but people love them, and I love them. But honestly, I think the focaccia is so underrated. We have a rosemary and flaky salt focaccia. It's the most forgiving and the easiest to bake, but it's also one of our biggest, I think, but it's so soft and pillowy.
We're super appreciative of the influx of support that we're getting from Burlington and the surrounding towns. We are just a couple of people with our home oven.
I grew up in Burlington, so this has been really cool to see the other streets and make these old connections from the past. So it's been really fun. Everybody in Burlington has been so supportive. It's been nuts. We're so grateful for the Burlington community. We couldn't have asked for a better spot.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
With excitement building across the Boston area for the 130th running of the Boston Marathon, one Burlington resident is getting ready for a race she'll never forget. She's set to run her very first marathon, all in support of the Golf Fights Cancer charity. Juliana Maureen has the story.
It's been incredible. It really has.
Burlington native Maureen Ryan is preparing for her first Boston Marathon. I met with Maureen to learn more about what inspired her to take on one of the world's most iconic races.
I've always wanted to run the Boston Marathon. It's been a lifelong dream, although I never thought that I could actually do it. And this year, my fourth son, Tommy, is a senior at Boston College. And I thought if I was ever going to do it, this would be a great time.
Her motivation comes from the people in her life who have battled cancer and those she's lost along the way. Maureen is working with the Golf Fights Cancer charity, which aims to raise money for cancer research. For her, the race is not only about reaching the finish line, but also making each mile count for a cause close to her heart.
Cancer has impacted people close to me my entire life. And, I think there are probably not too many people that can't say that. I think that cancer really hits home for everybody.
After exceeding her fundraising goal, Maureen says the outpouring of support has made her marathon journey even more meaningful. Along the way, she has found a strong sense of community through training, something she says has helped carry her through the toughest runs leading up to Boston.
Fundraising's been tough, but I will say, I'm proud to be running my first Boston Marathon, and I'm also really proud to be a charity runner. And I think a lot of that speaks to how much the charity means to me. And the good that it is doing. The training is the training, and I don't consider myself any special athlete. And it's work, and it's fun, and you get through it. Being part of a team, and especially a charity team, has just been an incredible journey for me. You get to know people, and you have fun with each other, and the joke for me is my favorite musician is Ben Rector, and he has this song, Extraordinary Magic, and it talks about things becoming extraordinary that are ordinary. Yeah. And it's the simple runs, it's the simple pictures of someone running in the snow and freezing, and all for the same cause and the same mission. And it's really been a bonding experience. And we're going to get there. We're all going to get there, and I'm just really excited about it.
In this April, she'll take her place at the starting line, turning years of watching into one unforgettable run. It's been a long way to the finish line, but she's almost there. Good luck, Maureen. For BNEWS Weekly, I'm Juliana Maureen.
And we're hoping for good weather for you, Mo. Another Burlington resident, Rose Hatch, will also be running for charity, supporting the James Gang, a nonprofit that promotes inclusion for adults with intellectual disabilities. This will be Rose's third marathon, but her first Boston. For more information on her charity, visit our website, and best of luck to both runners. We seem to be in an unsettled weather pattern. Meteorologist Peter Brown breaks it all down for us right after our community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. On April 24th at 11 a.m., Wayside Commons will be having the Good News Gus Puppet Show. Come by and perform with Harry and his monster friends. Everyone is welcome, and the event is free. Beginning on April 25th at 11 a.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a PopCon event. Everyone is welcome, and for more information, go to their website. Also on April 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Burlington Board of Health will be having their annual Community Health Fair at the BHS Gymnasium. Everyone is welcome, and the event is free. For more information, go to the following website. For more community calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your community calendar.
Hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with Electra Weather for the next 7 days. Here we are marching into the middle of April. I know it's hard to believe that we are almost up to Patriots Day, almost up to Marathon Monday. I know, hard to believe that we are that far into spring. Now, Finally, here in the Burlington area over the past week or so, we have had some real spring-like weather. In fact, midsummer-like weather a couple of days ago when we saw temperatures in the mid-80s. So we've definitely seen some warm weather around here. Unfortunately, it does not look like that is going to be staying with us for too much longer. Now, as we start our period on Friday, we should be seeing temperatures at this time of the year in the low 60s for our average highs, and this is being very optimistic now. When we put the forecast together, it looked like we were going to be seeing temperatures staying up around the upper 60s to around 70. Looks like we're going to have to really cut those back as we're going to be seeing an east-northeast wind coming in off the ocean here. And even here in the Burlington area, a good ways from the coast, I think we're going to be struggling to get out of the upper 50s, so it's going to be cool and damp out there, back to more like March weather. Now, as we get towards the end of the period, next Thursday, we should be seeing again temperatures at this time of the year getting into the mid-60s, and unfortunately looks like we're going to be a little bit cooler than that. Doesn't look like it's going to be the most pleasant of April vacation weeks coming up. If you are taking next week off, it doesn't look like it is going to be a real banner type of week in terms of weather. At least we know our sunrises are now happening at 6 o'clock in the morning, and look at this, our sunset's happening near 7:30, so at least the length of day is getting very long now. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation over the next 7 to 10 days. Now, looking at our temperature map, looks like when we put our forecast together, we were going to be staying about near normal, and unfortunately, looking at this right now and at the latest models, I think we're going to be seeing probably cooler than average temperatures over the next week or so here, especially in New England. Again, nothing we haven't been used to in the Burlington area, so I'm sure just one more week of it isn't going to make much of a difference. Now, as we go ahead and look at our precipitation chances, this is something that's actually pretty good. They are expecting us to have a chance of above average precipitation, and we still are in a fairly moderate drought here in the Burlington area, despite even some of that heavy rain we had in those light showers and thunderstorms a couple of nights ago. We still need to add to those rainfall deficits as we get further and further into spring, closer to summer. So let's go ahead and take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, yes, I know what you're going to say. You're probably saying, what is this guy thinking of here? And yes, we are expecting to have unsettled weather from Friday right through the end of the period on Thursday. Temperatures not really varying too much. Again, this high of 68 on Friday, we're going to have to shave that down a bit. I think it's going to again be struggling to get to 60 on Friday with a cool wind off of the ocean. And this is actually something that we call a dirty high pressure center that's coming down into our area, where we get a cold front that sinks to our south and we get an easterly flow around the bottom of the high pressure center that's centered over Canada. And that keeps that really cool and damp air coming into southern New England. And yes, and Saturday and Sunday, temperatures around 60 to 65, that may be also very generous getting in there. Now, if you are going out to watch the marathon on Monday morning or running in it, it is going to be a cold morning. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of wet snowflakes, perhaps, yes, mixed in on Monday morning. Temperatures getting only to 50, maybe not even getting in the upper 40s on Monday. And thereafter, getting into the middle and latter portion of the week, again, those unsettled conditions are going to stay with us, that cold air off of the ocean and showery conditions, and temperatures struggling to get out of the low to mid 50s. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Up next is Juliana Maureen. She has your BNEWS Sports Report.
Hey everyone, I'm Juliana Maureen, and this is your weekly sports report. Red Devils baseball continued its season into the road last weekend with a close 7-6 loss to the Lexington Minutemen, followed by a 10-2 loss to the Melrose Redhawks, moving the team to 1-3 on the season. Lady Devils softball had two tough games back-to-back on Thursday and Friday. They were shut out by the Andover Golden Warriors 14-0 and then lost to Lexington 14-1. Burlington responded with a 14-11 home victory over the Melrose Redhawks, bringing the record to 2-3. Red Devils volleyball defeated the Medford Mustangs at home last Friday. For more on that match, we go to the highlights.
Boys volleyball faced the Medford Mustangs for the second time this season after earning a 3-0 win in their first meeting. This time, the Red Devils once again came out on top. taking the opening set 25-15. Medford answered in the second with a narrow 25-23 win to even the match at 1 set apiece. But Burlington responded strongly, closing out the next 2 sets 25-21 and 25-19 to secure the 3-1 victory over the Mustangs.
The Devils then competed against the Arlington Spy Ponderers, where they were shut out at home 3-0, moving the record to 5-3 on the season. Lady Devils lacrosse competed in 3 games this past week. They lost 11-3 at home against the Lexington Minutemen on April 9th. Then they had a wild game against the Melrose Redhawks that came down to the final seconds of our game in our game of the week.
In our game of the week, the Burlington girls lacrosse team battled the Melrose Redhawks in a back-and-forth thriller. Burlington trailed 6-4 after the opening quarter, before Melrose extended its lead in the second. The Red Devils answered with 3 goals of their own, but still went into halftime behind, 11-7. Burlington rallied in the third quarter, putting up 4 goals to chip away at the deficit, though Melrose held a 15-11 advantage headed into the fourth. The final quarter was a dramatic one, as the Devils stormed back to even the score at 17. But with just 30 seconds remaining, Melrose broke through for the go-ahead goal to make it 18-17. Burlington made one last push to force overtime, but the Redhawks held on as time expired. We caught up with head coach Madison Skiff after the game.
We had momentum and they were working really hard. I think they wanted it really bad. Oh, I'm so proud. They didn't stop fighting. They kept going. That's all I can ask for.
They then traveled to Arlington, where they were defeated by the Spy Ponderers with a 10-3 victory, evening their record out to 3-3. Red Devils boys lacrosse is on a 4-game winning streak. The Devils earned a close 10-9 road victory over the Lexington Minutemen last Thursday, followed by another close 7-6 win over the Melrose Redhawks on April 13th, and then on the 14th, a 14-7 victory against Arlington on April 15th. And they are now 4-2 on the season. The Lady Red Devils lost 4-1 on the road to Arlington on April 10th, with junior Therese Kaczynski picking up the lone win in the first singles. This past Monday, they were shut out 5-0 on the road by the Reading Rockets. Their first win of the season came in a 4-1 victory on the road against the Wakefield Warriors on the 14th. Juniors Therese Kaczynski and Cecilia Frasick won in singles, while the double teams of junior Shreya Patel and freshman Emery Shaw, along with sophomore Samira Patel and Nishta Parapi, also earned wins. The Devils now stand at 1-5 on the season. The Red Devils boys tennis lost back-to-back 5-0 matches against the Bedford Bucks and the Arlington Spy Ponderers last Thursday and Friday. They then lost a close 3-2 match at home against the Reading Rockets on Monday, with sophomores Radon Agari and Casey Shannon earning singles victories. The boys picked up their first win of the season with a 5-0 win over the Wakefield Warriors at home on April 14th. Freshman Arav Jamal, along with sophomore Radon Ayagi and Casey Shannon, won their singles matches, and in doubles, seniors Mateus Torres and Austin Lee, along with junior Rahul Patel and sophomore Gio Pranav, came away with victories. For more Red Devils sports, visit our sports section and follow us on X at BNEWS Sports. That is all for this week. Sports Report, I'm Juliana McGrain. Back to you guys in the studio.
This week's Red Devil Shoutout goes to the Burlington esports team, which won its first championship and brought home a big trophy. Let's take a look.
Senior Gio Delgado won a state championship in the esports program for Madden back in December. In the spring, he received the Eastern Regional Madden NFL 26 Youth Championship trophy from the company Play Versus. Gio said he wasn't expecting a trophy, but is grateful for the opportunity, especially after completing an undefeated season this past fall.
Just hard work, dedication, and everything I put into it, and just to have a trophy, it just means the world to me.
Gio credits his success to the work he put in and day out, along with his support of his coach Nolan Hart and his advisor Leroy Wan.
From preseason to postseason and really making sure that we put in effort, time, We reviewed film. We would go and scout opponents, whether it was searching for games, past videos that other teams put out, to give ourselves just even that opportunity.
It's been 4 years of hard work, getting close every year. As I mentioned, we've had other teams get close, not quite there, but to have him actually, get across the finish line, finishing undefeated, winning the championship, it's a great feeling.
Mr. Wong always supporting me, Mr. Hart always helping me and making sure I was on my A game every single game.
This marks the first championship for the esports program, and with growing interest, it could be the start of more success for the Red Devil gamers in the future.
We started the program a couple years ago. We wanted to give kids opportunities in the school. That's what we do with all of our athletic programs. Having Mr. Wong and having Mr. Hart give those opportunities and care as much as any coaches we have about what they're doing is a testament to the program. I mean, winning a state championship in any program at any time is a great undertaking.
Never taking days off. I was playing Madden the whole time, and I enjoyed playing the game. And really just playing the game I love just made me really happy.
A huge congrats to Gio, the first state championship in program history. This is the Red Devil Shoutout.
Bees seem to be the theme this week. Alita Charbonneau captured this photo of a bumblebee hard at work. What a delight to see a busy bee. Great photo. Thanks, Alita. We'd like to see your photos. The photos could be of something you see around town, on vacation, or even photos of your family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Send them to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's all for this week's edition of BNEWS Weekly. Have a great Patriots Day and enjoy the Boston Marathon. Our neighbors at Lex Media will be carrying the coverage of Patriots Day festivities. Visit their website for full details. The Celtics open up Sunday, and our in-house prognosticator, Carter Ames, says the Celtics will win in 6. That's all from the news decks. Thanks for watching. I'm Phil Gallagher. Join us again next week.